Welcome to another episode of the NCAA Track and Field Show. I'm your host, Gordon Mack, working from the downstairs of my house because I'm really bad with temperature control, which is why I have a winter hat on. It's very cold in my house. Don't know how to make it warm. I live in Texas. I should have this figured out, but I don't. But I still got to do the show anyway. And today, we're going to talk about some rankings. That's what we do every week. We're going to talk about the NCAA rankings. Check out our website. We have a bunch of shows on our website. This Week in Track with Kevin. We have race breakdowns with Carl Lewis. We have the NCAA Track and Field Show. We have the FloTrack Ranking Show. And obviously, the FloTrack podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live on YouTube and on the site. But it's time to talk about NCAA Track and Field. Head over to the rankings page. We have all the rankings you need. Head over to the NCAA rankings. Latest updates after this past weekend. And we've had some changes. On the men's side, we now have a new number one. That is the Georgia men. They were preseason number one. They're now back to number one. They were ranked second last week. Back to number one with a 2-point lead over the Texas Longhorns. Florida men, though, keep on moving up the rankings. They were fifth last week. Now they're at the third position. North Carolina A&T stays in the podium. That is the men's side. On the women's side, my podcast last week was all about the Florida women. The Florida women are the GOATs of women's team potential. They're going to score maybe 100 points and beat everyone by like 50. But last week, we had this woman known as Tyra Giddens, Texas A&M athlete who basically can win the high jump, can win the long jump, and can also win the pentathlon. And with that, you basically can win 30 points. And if those 30 points go to a team like Texas, which is what just happened, Texas all of a sudden is in the mix for a national title against Florida. You can see that basically Texas now has 30 more points because they got the Texas A&M transfer and Giddens, who is a field event phenom, and now Florida is going to have their work cut out for them to win this meet. You can check out the rest of the rankings. Arkansas there in the top 4, LSU in the top 4, all the way to top 25. Check them all out. Enjoy it. But this is not about the rankings. Well, it is about the rankings, right? What I want to talk about is we now had, if we check this out, I've updated these rankings now 5 times. January 10th, 18th, 24th, February 1st, and February 8th. And now basically the rankings are off of what people are doing over the past few weekends. It's based off of what people have done basically during the outdoor season and even indoor season last year. But here's the thing. I've been waiting, and I've been waiting patiently. And there are certain athletes who refuse to get on the indoor track. And I don't know why. Now, sure, I could probably email every coach and figure it out, DM these athletes or something like that, and find out what's going on. Where are you? But I don't know. So this is a podcast to put out the bat call, the bird call, the whatever you want to call the notice. Where are you? There are so many top elite athletes that I think can either win, can finish top 2, top 3. I have a bunch of athletes who I think can finish All-American who have yet to run in the 2022 indoor season. And I want to list them out. I want people to know, who are these athletes? Where are they? Are they hurt? Are they redshirting? What's going on? I don't know. Sometimes, are they even in school? Did they just graduate? I mean, because we have the COVID world where people have 6th year, 7th years. Maybe they're not even going to compete. But what I want to do is highlight the notable athletes who, as of today, are missing. And hopefully, maybe when we see them this weekend, which is probably going to be the best weekend of college track and field this weekend with a lot of events live on FloTrack, which you should check out. But let's first talk about the missing list. You can start at the bottom. You can see these are the athletes who I have projected ranked in our top 8, a.k.a. their scorers. I have someone like Isaac Grimes. I have him ranked number 1 in my NCAA rankings. He's jumped 8.35 meters, which is better than what Matthew Bowling has already done this year. But he hasn't jumped at all in 2022. Now, is he waiting for mid-February to make his first jump and then go jump at ACCs and all of a sudden we're going to see him, at NCAAs? I don't know. And I have a list. I have a whole list of athletes. You can check them out on the screen right now. We have Tyra Giddens. We know what she's done. Now, she just transferred from Texas A&M to Texas, so we know where she is. We know she's in Texas. She literally documented her move on Instagram live like throughout the past week or so. We know she's in Austin. She's dealing with the cold the way I'm dealing with it. So we know she's here in Austin, but we just don't know when she's going to debut, and they're running out of weeks. I mean, Big 12s for Texas is in 2 weekends, so they have to figure it out soon. So Tyra Giddens is missing. Joseph Fonbula. You guys remember Joseph Fonbula, the breakout star for Florida. He has the most amazing stride in the 200, ran really well during outdoors, represented Liberia, I believe, went on to, I think, make the Olympic final in the 200. We haven't seen him in the 200. Where is he? He's run 1991 in the outdoor 200. We haven't seen him. But I think he's going to win if he runs, but I don't know. I mentioned Isaac Grimes. Finley McClear, remember him? Miami, Ohio kid. Incredible 800-meter runner, has an incredible kick. Reminds me of, those heartbreak kicks that Robbie Andrews had at UVA or Andrew Weeding. He's missing. Runs for Miami, Ohio. Is he in Miami or is he in Ohio? I don't know. Gabrielle Wilkinson, another 800-meter star. She's run 2:01. She hasn't run all year. I think she's going to finish second. And if you go down the list, you can see notable athletes on not just, athletes who can All-American, but athletes who can score big points for their team. I mean, check this out. Texas women, they need to hope that Tyra Giddens competes because they're expecting 30 points from her. You look on the women's side for Florida, you have Gabrielle Wilkinson. I have her getting second. That's 8 points that Florida's going to be counting on. Is she running? Is she not running? We don't know. You go down this whole list. You can see athletes from Georgia, from Arkansas, Tennessee, Florida State, UCLA, North Carolina, Florida, Alabama. I'm just basically naming states right now, which is all 50 states. But of these lists, obviously, the most important ones are Tyra Gittens, who can score 30 points, Joseph Fonbula, who can score 10, be on a 4x4, Isaac Grimes, who can win the long jump. So there's a bunch of athletes that can really be game changers on the team score side. But also there's some athletes that I'm kind of just like, what's going on? Like I think about NC State, Hannah Steelman. She hasn't run all year. She's a star runner for the Wolfpack. She competed. I think she was a rabbit in the 5K in December for her fellow teammates, but we haven't seen her since. Where is she? I don't know. Is she hurt? Is she fine? If she's waiting till ACCs? I'm interested with someone like Hannah Steelman. I'm interested in someone like Kaylin Roberts. She's a star 400-meter runner for USC. USC could put together an incredible 4x4, but if Kaylin Roberts, who I think can get third individually, is not competing this indoor season, USC's 4x4 chances kind of go down. They're not, I was going to say something negative, but they're not good, right? I mean, you look at this, like another athlete that's like low-key important for team scores, USC's McKay Johnson. He's a shot putter. He's shot putted over 21 meters. I think he can get third. That's 6 points for USC. USC could sneak onto the podium, but if they're not getting the 6 points from McKay Johnson, they're not going to win. So, I don't know. This is the list I have. We don't know where they are. This podcast is really just a PSA. It's not really informative. Again, check out the rankings on the site. I rank every individual in every event. Top 8. Got them all. Updating it. Got the team rankings, top 25. But I just need to know where these people are. Are they just stuck doing homework? Are they like in COVID protocol for like the entire semester? I don't know what's going on. So I made a couple of flyers to find some of these people. Like for Joseph Fonbula, I put him on a milk carton. Hey man, where are you? We saw you at the Olympics. It was incredible. We saw you put on a show at NCAA's outdoors in Eugene, but we haven't seen you on indoor track, and I want to see you. I think you're going to win the 200. Where are you? Same thing with Finley McClear, who, first of all, this is an incredible mugshot because that haircut looks great, and also just the white backdrop, which looks like you're taking this at the police station. I got this mugshot from the World Athletics page. One thing that's weird is whenever they take mugshots of track and field athletes and they put them on World Athletics, it's always really unflattering photos. Like it looks like you'd think they would want to like make it like this one of Joseph. This is taken by the Florida SID. It looks good. This one doesn't look good. The lighting's kind of little dull. I mean, if you look at if you just type in world athletics, let's pick a person. Let's do Jakob Ingebrigtsen. And let's look at his profile picture. Well, that one looks good. But this one, I mean, the lighting, it looks kind of like purplish, bluish. Clearly there was a flash going on. The photo game, the World Athletics Department needs to hire a professional bio photo guy or girl to take better photos because this just doesn't look good. I mean, if we look at, let's do Donovan Brazier. We'll do let's see what his profile looks like. Loading. See, Donovan does a little smirk, but like this photo of him in action is a lot better photo of him just wearing a white T-shirt. You know, they gotta take notice of like the NCAA SIDs and the way they do their stuff. I don't know. I am rambling. This is the worst podcast ever. The whole point of this podcast was to notify this list of people and let the fans know that the rankings are assuming these people are still competing. But here's the thing. They only got one more weekend to tell me that they exist. They got one more weekend to tell me that they're alive. They got one more weekend to tell me that they are NCAA track and field athletes. If they don't compete this upcoming weekend, I'm taking them all off my rankings. Joseph Fambula, you're not being ranked anymore. Isaac Grimes, gone. Daniel MacArthur, I didn't know ya. Hannah Steelman, whatever. Lillian Lowe of Arizona, I'm sorry. I just got to take you off because there's people who are actually competing through the first month of January, through the beginning of February, who deserve to be ranked. And also, it makes a better understanding of the true picture of who actually is going to be competing in Birmingham in March for an NCAA title. So, you got the list here. You got the list of a bunch of athletes, a bunch of different teams, especially at the top with Tyra Gittins, Joseph Fambula, Isaac Grimes, Finley McLear, Gabrielle Wilkinson, people who I think are going to score 8 to 10 points each. They haven't run yet, and we got to wait one more weekend. If they don't do it this weekend, they're off the list. Someone else is coming on the top 8, and the team rankings will change drastically. So, again, check your local grocery store. If you see Joseph Fambula on a milk carton, tell him to contact FloTrack. Same thing with Finley McLear. Contact FloTrack. Let me know. Are you running? Are you not running? Let's get to the bottom of this. Anyway, again, like, subscribe this channel, do all that stuff. Check out all the rankings on FloTrack. Again, we do a bunch of shows this week in track. We do the FloTrack podcast. We do race breakdowns. We do the FloTrack rankings show. We do a bunch of stuff. Check it all out. And we're going to be going live on FloTrack at the Iowa State Classic this weekend. We're going to be live on FloTrack at the BU Valentine Invitational. We're going to be live on FloTrack all over. It's going to be great. Check it all out. Another great weekend of action coming on up.